Welcome to Drone News Now and welcome to Drone U HQ. My name is Paul and let's move right into breaking news. It seems like the FAA is really laying the hammer down on enforcements against drone pilots, which will make those of us who actually follow the rules quite happy, as doing so will now be paying off. That said, a Canadian man by the name of Zhao Guang Pan from Ontario has been arrested and is facing 3 separate counts of capturing photos over a military installation, specifically space launches. If Pan is convicted of these counts, he faces up to 1 year in prison for each separate count, as he took flight 3 separate times in January of 2025 on his trip from Ontario down to Orlando, Florida. This goes to show that even seemingly innocent drone flights can lead to serious consequences, which again might be a good and stark reminder for many of us in the drone industry. It goes to show, don't fly in TFRs or temporary flight restrictions, and don't fly over military bases. You are ultimately responsible as a pilot. And I know DJI has removed the GeoZones 2.0, but that doesn't mean go act like a little 4-year-old child and fly wherever you want to. Be smart, be responsible, so that we can all maintain flying in the skies together. In our next piece of drone news that you probably won't hear about anywhere else because it's about America, makes you question if the other guys even like America. Anyway, we've got a great piece of news from Freefly Systems as they have launched a brand new drone,
Introducing
the
AstroMax,
which is going to increase the payload to 3 kilograms, which is fantastic. Increasing power, increasing payload is really going to significantly help people who are in the advanced mapping space. Things like LiDAR or even agronomists using LiDAR that have those 3 returns per pulse that are allowing for complex problem solving and solutions. This new aircraft, powered by the Pilot Pro remote, which is personally one of my favorite remotes, is now even cheaper than the Astro Prime, believe it or not. But there's a caveat here. It's cheaper than the Astro Prime NDAA. You can get an AstroMax with an LR1 camera and the Pilot Pro remote, not NDAA approved, for about $30,000, which does include cases and batteries, which is fantastic. So you get that whole kit for now even cheaper. If you do want the NDAA approved, you have to get the Doodle Labs radio that is affixed to the back of the Pilot Pro remote. Personally, I'm really excited for this aircraft because Freefly Systems has a notch above the rest of the American manufacturers, at least in the consumer and enterprise space, as they've really focused on software engineering and making this aircraft feel very natural to fly. If you've flown things like DJI, moving into the Astro Prime or the Astro Max will be easy, convenient, and you'll honestly love flying that aircraft. With the LR1 full-frame sensor, over 60 megapixels, your mapping missions are significantly more efficient, reducing the time of like a Matrice 4 Enterprise by a factor of 4. So whatever took the Matrice 4 Enterprise, say 10 minutes, the Astro Prime will do in 2.5. That being said, we actually tested that. You can check out our Astro review, which includes the LR1 camera payload, which is the same payload on the Astro Max. Props to Freefly Systems, who also builds their batteries in Washington State. A true American manufacturer, a true battery manufacturer, a true American manufacturer. In our next piece of news related to American manufacturing, Anduril is opening up a hyperscaling facility in Ohio to develop and hyperscale the manufacturing of autonomous aircraft, autonomous robots, and autonomous weapons. In fact, Governor DeWine of Ohio says Ohio's history of advancing aviation, aerospace, and national defense runs deep. But what sets the state apart is our readiness to embrace the future. At this critical moment in time, our country needs rapid technological innovation, which Anduril will deliver using Ohio's skilled, hardworking labor force. The future of American air power will be made in Ohio. If you haven't seen Palmer Luckey's interview with Sean Ryan, and Palmer Luckey is the founder of Anduril, you'll know that the United States is significantly behind people like China in manufacturing drones, ships, and much more. But he's not just simply commentating about the problems, he's driving the solution. This is a major step in American manufacturing, as we desperately need more and more autonomous and hyperscaled manufacturing in the United States.
China definitely has the technology in terms of manufacturing prowess. They know how to make stuff fast. They know how to make it cheap. They have automated cruise missile production facilities that are capable of turning out more cruise missiles in a week than the entire United States turns out in a year. I mean, like, do you know the multiple for Chinese shipbuilding capacity? So China has more shipbuilding capacity than us. They can build ships a lot faster than us. If we start blowing up boats in the Pacific, they're going to be able to build more. How much more shipbuilding capacity do you think they have? How much more? 5 times? You think it's 5 times more? You think it's 100 times more? What do you think it is?
I honestly have no idea.
Make a crazy guess.
20 times.
It's 350 times.
350
They have 350 times more shipbuilding capacity than the United States.
An equivalent ship?
So it's worse. People will try to argue with me then, and sometimes they'll say, but Palmer, all of that is commercial shipbuilding capacity. So it's unfair to compare, all of China with all of the United States because you're counting all of China's commercial shipping. But you know why it's fair? Because in China, the law says that all commercial vessels have to meet military standards. If you are building a roll-on, roll-off passenger ferry for transporting people and cars, you have to have deck plate supports that are strong enough to transport tanks and armored vehicles on.
Anduril will be hiring 4,000 people to actually work in this facility, which is going to significantly drive American manufacturing as a whole. Also in breaking news, the U.S. Space Force has launched a new photo taken from the X-37B unmanned spacecraft, which I know it's crazy to think, but the Earth is not flat. It's not round either, as the photo from the X-37B proves what we've been saying in mapping class this whole time. Earth is an oblate spheroid. I know, it's a shocker. In another piece of news this week, which is also sad to say, but there has been another plane crash, as many of you already have seen, taking place in Toronto as a regional jet operated by Endeavour Air and then subsequently marketed by Delta Airlines crashed upon landing at Toronto's airport. It looks like the plane came in really hard and really fast, which is not the news here, as we have also learned from the DC and Reagan helicopter and airplane crash, which was also a regional jet, that the altimeter in the helicopter was miscalibrated. Whether it was pilot error or an altimeter malfunction is still unknown. It's why the helicopter had actually hit the plane. But there's a much larger macro story here, as we still mourn all the families that have lost loved ones. We have to have empathy for those people. It's extremely sad. No matter what happened, there's still lives that are lost, and that's really the big story. But the bigger story is now the American public is really learning about the FAA systems for training up pilots to be commercial airline pilots. Normally, there are two methodologies for these commercial airline pilots to actually gain the hours necessary to work for someone like American Air, United, Southwest Airlines, etc. There's two ways. Way number one is work for a small regional carrier, as they'll typically hire pilots that have 500 hours or a little bit more to gain what they need to actually come up to the 1,500 or 2,000 hours necessary to work for one of the bigger carriers. The other option is to work for the military and get your hours in that way. This is becoming a stark reminder that the way that we train our pilots might not always be sufficient, but it's important to remember that pilots have a very, very low margin of error in a high-stress environment. Same thing with air traffic control. So while we want to sit here and armchair quarterback all the things that we could be doing better, it's important to remember that these are literally two of the hardest jobs out there, not including linemen in the power utility space. So be graceful. It's still sad that this enormous accidents have been happening, but it does offer an opportunity to better our aviation safety. We look forward to hearing more from the NTSB on this particular issue. This is another episode of Drone News Now, brought to you by Drone U HQ and not the AI version. I love doing that with my eyes. The AI version is so weird. Anyway, thanks again for joining us as always. If you did watch this show, I got some news for you. Drone U is launching 23 new classes this spring. We are literally updating everything. You're going to be so happy. Our mapping classes go deeper and wider than ever to maintain our competitive advantage over the lack of competition in this space. So if you want to join us for a mapping class in person or online, stay tuned to Drone U, because we've got a lot for you, as we want you to propel above and beyond the competition with competence and confidence, mastering flight along the way. You can only do that with practical exercises taught from experience. So check us out at thedroneu.com.